Good day. So, following on from my session yesterday, where I was just testing, well, showing how I managed to test using Wails and Gleam together and then through IPC, I'm going to start fleshing out a Gleam front end to a Wails app, desktop app. So, let's get to it. Let's go here. I should bump this up again so you can see what's going on. So what have we got here? Here I have basically gutted my old Svelte UI for Snippet Expander. And so you can see I've basically deleted all the front end originally, which is a bunch of Svelte components and npm and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. And then we have a modified makefile. I've updated the Wails.json for some reason, can't remember why. Oh yeah, because the way I'm building the Gleam app doesn't need all the stuff in there. So if I do a git diff on Wails, you can see I don't need any of that install stuff at the moment. That's all npm build things. And I'm using basically a Gleam JavaScript function, which just does the job. JavaScript function, a Gleam built to JavaScript module, not function. And then obviously I just updated some dependencies in the Go app, which makes Wails. So I am going to be working in front end here, which is a Gleam app. And at the moment, let's go to source here. That should be a good place to start, I think. At the moment, all we have is this very simple Gleam app that gets the version using the backend get version function and then displays it in the front. Let's show what that looks like if you didn't watch it yesterday. Well, it won't be yesterday actually. Anyway. So it looks something like this. At the moment, all I've got is a button, which isn't properly styled or anything. And when I click it, I get 999, and that is coming from the back end because I built Snippet Expander then and said, hey, your version 999. That's all it's doing, and it's getting rid of the promise that comes back from JavaScript by using an effect from. We talked about that in the last session. So if you want to see all that, that was basically just a little test to make sure I could actually do that, so I can communicate with the Go backend. So now I want to actually start fleshing out something. So I am going to, what am I going to do first? Let's do ping. You can't really show the GUI unless you can do something with the backend. And the backend is we're communicating to the Wails app, which is made with Go. But all the actual brains for Snippet Expander happen in a daemon, which is also another Go app. And that's where it's managing the database of snippets. And then it does any like chatting with the operating system to grab the clipboard or paste to the clipboard. And also is the hub for anything else. So like the Expander daemon talks to the main daemon, as does the CLI and the GUI. They all talk to the daemon via dbus, which is a interprocess communication mechanism on Linux, mostly. I mean, you can use it elsewhere as well. You can use it in Windows, and not sure about Mac, don't know, but you can use it in Windows for sure. I'm going to therefore set up ping. I will, I think, leave that little function here I'm not probably going to use it for a while, but I'll use this just as a template. Grab that. And it's all going to be a little bit messy at first. I'm just going to be building out in here. And then eventually we'll refactor. So there should be a function in the back end called ping. So I will just call this ping. Actually, it might have another function in there that might be worth looking at. Let's have a look. I'll just use the go. Daemon running. I wonder if I should use that, because that just does a Boolean. Did I use that in the Svelte version? Let's go have a look. I think I just used ping. Oh, that's not going to help me. Oh, it might actually. Let's see where I used that. Did I just spell that wrong? Daemon. What? D-A-E-M-O-N, running. I am very surprised. Why is that not working? Where am I? I am on the trunk checkout there. This is like a checkout of the existing version, not where I'm doing the work. I'm just using this as a reference. Interesting. Okay, let's have a quick look in here. Now I know we do the ping there. Daemon installed. Okay. I must have added Daemon running later. Let's go use that. Well, we'll give it a go. Because it's dead simple, it doesn't take any arguments. Yeah, we'll do that. I should probably show why I'm doing this. Yeah, okay. I'll just switch back to here. So, if I bring up, let's bring up the main Snippet Expander. This is the original. And if I switch back here, so up above you can just see, if I do Snippet Expander stop, this is going to stop the daemon. And now if I come back and bring up Snippet Expander again, we get this. So could not connect to the Snippet Expander daemon. And also it looks like Snippet Expander is installed, start it. So what I'm interested in doing today is trying to get this up and running, this first notice, or at least just make sure I can get to that point where I have the information for it, because I'm going to try and keep this quite short. And then you saw here we have the check daemon installed stuff, which also then creates a notice based on the state, and then I can just start it. So here I go, I've got a button which can just start the daemon, and we're off and running again. And things like so here I can see status, I think that's right. No. Oh, it did work, I think. There we go. Yeah, status is a flag, and you just saw that it just basically returns 0, which is good. And then of course I can do something like just ping as well. It just comes back pong, and that's talking to the daemon, which is running in the background. So if I grep for that, Snippet Expander, I should see a couple of different things here. Oh, missed the grep. You can see that I've got, oh, you might not actually, let me just whack it up here because it's probably my head. We've got the middle one here is Snippet Expander D, which is the daemon, and then above it is the Expander Daemon, and they're both running. You can see my grep as well there. Okay, right, and let's try daemon install running. See how good that is. So, okay, so here, daemon running. I'm very surprised that did not come up in git grep. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, daemon running. Now that's going to return a promise with a boolean in it. So that'll be fun. So we have here, let's remember this, we've got daemon wonder why that's not auto-completing. And then here, I'll just call this daemon running. So we're going to need a message which returns a boolean. So let's do that. I'll keep these two, and then I will plonk in some new ones. What am I going to call this? I could do an is thing. I could do is daemon running. Or I could do get daemon running. No, is, I think. We'll keep it like that. And then here we're just returning whether it is or not. So I could just do daemon running here. I think that works. Daemon running. Maybe I'll rename this then. No, I'll keep that JS there. Daemon running. Bool. I'll rename that to is to sort of match up with the question. Yeah. Just in case I have some need to have like a set of daemon running and pass in the boolean instead of asking the question. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to be needed, but I might as well keep things consistent on naming wise here. So we'll keep JS, shall we? Should we just call this is JS is daemon running. Yeah, we'll do that. For the moment, you can always rename it later. Okay, so we have these two functions. So the JavaScript from function interface is going to call the daemon running in the backend, which is exposed as a JavaScript function. And then I'm calling that from here, getting a promise, and it always returns a true or false. I might want to start using a reject and blah 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 to sort of bolster this up in a minute. But anyway, and we're going to do something very similar to what we did with update version here. So let's take these two, duplicate them up, and we're going to have is daemon running. It's not changing the model yet, but it is then going to do is daemon running. And the message we want to get in response to the question is daemon running. I'm fighting the idea of doing daemon running response or result or something like that. I don't think I need that. I think we'll keep it shorter like that. And then down here, when we get that message, daemon running, we'll just call this running here as a bool. And now we need to update the model. So the model now is going to change. So at the moment we have version. Let's have daemon running as a bool. And so now we need to start updating this stuff. And now I've got to remember how this works. So it's a new model with the old model, and then set in running. And we'll have to do the same here of adding the version. So that should in theory work. What's going on here? Running. Oh. Yeah, okay. Good idea. Let's do, oh, I should have just prefixed that. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I am creating a new model from the old model, spreading it as such, and then just passing in the value of daemon running, and I'm using this little shorthand where I just basically pass in the name of it with a trading colon, rather than doing daemon running equals, and then doing the value again as well, same variable name. And that should be the end of that for the moment. I could potentially do another effect afterwards. I might be changing this up later as well. What I might end up doing is wrapping this with an OK and error. So basically a result. So even if the daemon is running, I should get like a, so if I get the daemon running, okay response, it should then contain a yay or nay. But there is potential that we can't talk to the backend for some reason. And so we might get an error just talking to the backend of the app. And therefore we would get an error back. In which case, we're in real trouble. And we'll just have to throw an error and say, quit the app, I guess. We'll come to that in a minute. Let's get the basics running first. So now we have, for some reason, a type. Oh. Why? Ah. There we go. This is the nice thing about Gleam and its type stuff. That just saved me a lot of heartache. So we now know that the model now needs to have different defaults. So at first, daemon running is going to be false. We just don't know yet. I did. Okay. So we now have a model which knows about whether the daemon is running or not. We are setting it to false at first because we just don't know when we start the app. We've got a message to say, is the daemon running? And then a response, which is daemon running, yay or nay. In the update, when we get a message asking, when we basically want to find out whether the daemon is running, we're going to call is daemon running and expect a daemon running message back response, which will eventually update the model. So that's good and hopefully works. Now we need to do something in the view. So I'm going to what am I going to do here? This is a fun one. Actually, on what's the best way for me to send that message, is daemon running, as the very first thing that happens after init? I guess I have a message there, don't I? Oh, so I can maybe do it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do that just now. I'm going to come back and I'm going to here. I am going to change that effect.none to is daemon running, rather find out how I make it do that because it needs to emit the effect with the message. And I'm not sure how you do that. Right here, because normally have I done it in other places? Yes, I have. I'll go look at some old code to make sure I'm doing it right. But anyway, before we do that, let's just have something here. We want to switch views here. So we're going to want a view for when the daemon is not running, so that we can display different stuff. Say, look, we can't do anything unless the daemon is up and running. And then another view for when we are connected and we can start looking at what's there to show. So what we'll do is we'll keep that. And we'll use that as the main view. And then I'm just going to check it twice now. So here we're going to have this as what should we call this? No daemon running. That's a bit wordy, but it'll do. And then this one here is just going to be main view. For the moment, that might change. And then in here, get rid of all that. And then case model. Yeah, we'll do daemon running straight off for the moment. And then true, we're just going to display the main view and pass in the model. And then false, because it can only be two things, we're going to call no daemon running. And then here, let's get rid of the button. And for the moment, we'll just do a little bit of text that says daemon isn't running. Okay, this is just a little test code. Main view, we can just keep that for the moment. Okay, and it doesn't like that. We're not using the model here at the moment, so we'll just ignore it with an underscore. Okay, so is that become? There are no diagnostics to follow. That's cool. All right, so in theory, that should work. Let's find out. Let's do, can I do a watch exec? Make. See what happens. So theory, that's just built. Daemon isn't running. That's not true. Okay. Debug time. Why? Why do we get that? So we have Daemon running true, false. So that should be okay. We have a promise in theory. Daemon running, Daemon running. Oh, no, I'm not doing the update yet. That's the whole point. I need to, yeah. So that's good. So at first the model is, oh, I knew I was going to trip out myself doing that. Right. So on the init, I now need to say, go find out. We're not even doing the find out yet. We haven't sent the message from anywhere to say, is the daemon running? So that's what I need to do here. I don't think I can't just do daemon running here. You need to actually do the thing. So I need to actually generate an effect here. Now, have I done that in Quanpixie? Oh, interesting. Still in the code. Don't know how often that's been coming back. So let's think. Does the main? I have the init here. Oh, I'm doing a timer there. That's kicking off some stuff. And I'm just, I'm doing a dispatch, of course. Okay. So that'll be an effect from, which is where I got the idea for fixing up the promise stuff. So, okay. This has given me an idea. When I just did that test of the existing Snippet Expander, I don't think I've got a little timer in there or anything to keep checking whether the daemon is running. So if I do Snippet Expander stop again, it's not changing here. Oh, it does. Haha, good. Okay, good. All right, so I do have a timer in the existing app. Smart. Okay, I need to reproduce that because that was a good idea that was just had, but I already had like years ago. So that's cool. All right, so now if I start it again, in theory, it should pick up on that, I guess, and start communicating with it again. Yeah, cool. Okay, There you go. How did I doubted myself there. Right. So I do need a little timer. What did I do in existing? Is there an interval here? 5 seconds. Yeah, so we're doing the check connection, which is calling ping. So that's that bit that we were looking at before. I wonder why I didn't use daemon. Running anyway. Cool. All right. So I need to do the same as that, which means I should probably just copy that code. Every time the timer ticks, and if I'm going to do I'm going to have that same thing. And then we've got the tick MJS there as well. So Gleam doesn't have like an automatic timer type stuff or interval, I think. So I had to build this little interval thing. So I kind of need to reproduce that. Right. I feel some copying and pasting going on in it. So this is in Cron Pixie, which is my little WordPress dashboard widget for showing the cron. And I've got an internal here with that stuff. If I look at that, super simple, I think. Yeah, I just do a Windows set interval and pass in how many seconds I want for the interval, and then the callback to be called. So cool. Okay. Let's take that. I'm going to come back there in a minute. No, we will save that for the moment. That should fail. Good. And then in here, we're going to do internal again. I guess so. Oh. Yeah. tick.mjs. Smart. So start a periodic timer that fires a callback on a regular cadence. I use some nice words there. Okay. Right. Back in front end. Where are we going to do this? We'll stick this in here. And then we're going to go grab some stuff. we're going to need a tick message. How much can I grab? There we go. And then we're going to need this set interval. We're going to do a start timer. And then we're going to do a little handle tick as well. So we'll just grab all that. So that should work straight out of the box. Do I want to keep up saying JS before it? Nah, we'll keep that without the JS. I might stop doing that JS prefix, because you can have multiple implementations of the same FFI. It's a bit daft to call it JS on the front. So yeah, I might do that in a minute. But anyway, we'll come back to that. So we've got the start timer, which I am not using yet, but we will in a minute. And it needs a tick message. We'll do that. We'll do that as there, and then handle tick. So case model. What if no, we don't need that. We're not going to be. Oh yeah. Okay. So the way it works is each time it ticks, I'm going to need to catch it and run it again. Is that right? Just a handle tick there. Okay. All right. It's getting a little bit long. I might have to finish this off very quickly. So let's say, yeah, okay, let's do that then. Just to get things going. Tick. We're going to handle tick with the model. That way it's going to give us a little bit of flexibility. At the moment we don't need it, but well, actually we do. We do need the model because we need to we are doing it's just an extension of update there. So yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So At the moment, we do not need the case. All we need to do well, that's interesting actually, isn't it? We are just doing is Daemon running. But without being triggered. What I could do is I could just do the dispatch of this Daemon running there and get rid of the whole handle tick. And don't even need the tick then. Because I don't have, or do I? Do I have anything else that I need to update on a regular interval in Snippet Expander? Maybe the snippets. Did I do that? Doing a check com there. Nothing else. Might still need to do that. Dispatch. Okay. So I am thinking that let's do it quick and dirty. Get rid of the handle. We'll do a dispatch of his Daemon just to get this going, and then we'll maybe come back. To that, so we don't need to tick anymore. We might put that back in later. So we are doing. Oh no, we do need it. Do need the numpty. The whole point is to handle every tick. Okay. Right, okay, in that case, what are we doing here then? Don't need any of that. On each tick, we are going to it's getting a little bit tricky now. Is Daemon running? Okay, I am just going to do, right, in that case, we just say, okay, we're responding with a model. And the result of is Daemon running. Passing in Daemon running. So that's all it's going to do, is just keep asking every 5 seconds, and then on init, I just need to do start timer, and we'll just say 5. Oh. Why? Oh, don't. Yeah, I haven't even got to it, and I know what I'm doing. Yeah, okay. I need to do the tuple thing. Oh, okay. Model, and then the message effect. Okay, right. And that's theory gonna work. Let's see. Okay, it's rebuilding. It was successful. I run it. 3, 4, 5. Yay! Okay. What I do need to do is do an initial ping, but I've kind of run out of time, so I'll come back to that some other time. But at least we do now have the every 5 seconds. And if I go back here, let's save that off, and if I just do Snippet Expander stop, within 5 seconds, switches, and then start it again, and then within 5 seconds, it's back. Cool. Okay. Brilliant. That's a good start. But yeah, so next time I need to make sure that I do dispatch that test early. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Maybe what I need to do is, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Maybe I just need to use that dispatch grab effect from to get a dispatch, send that, and maybe that's maybe there's a little wrapper function that does the daemon check and then kicks off the timer. Not sure how that's going to work. Anyway, that's for another day. So, better go. Thanks for watching, and until next time, you take care. Bye.